Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I'm your host, Britt Madrid Mogensen, and we have a juicy episode for you guys today. This is going to be a tarot tea time, but I'm going to pull in a little bit of astrology investigation into it because we need to know what's going on here. Of course, we're talking about the semi-breaking news situation, the pop culture speculation about what is going on between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. This is insane. So if you guys haven't heard about this yet, I'm going to read just a little bit of an excerpt from a Rolling Stones article that just came out actually at the time of filming this about 6 hours ago. What is going on with the It Ends With Us cast? After Blake Lively and co-star and director Justin Baldoni seemed to steer clear of each other on the film's press tour and at its premiere, fans have speculated about behind-the-scenes drama. It is very strange. So these two co-starred in this movie. They played love interests. And it is really weird that there wasn't one photo of them, not one press interview where they're talking with each other. And as we know, but judging by Luke and Nicola, even her husband doing the Wolverine press and Deadpool press with Hugh Jackman. I mean, you talk to your co-stars, you want people to know that you're friends, that, this is something worth seeing. It is absolutely bizarre what is going on here. Okay, so here's more. The gossip started earlier this week. Amid the press blitz for the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling romantic drama/domestic violence cautionary tale, It Ends With Us, fans started to notice something seemed amiss. The film's director and co-star, Justin Baldoni, who optioned Hoover's book in 2019 and is also an executive producer on the project, was doing a lot of solo interviews. Blake Lively, the film's other main star, was making appearances with castmates and with Hoover, gushing about how great everyone was, except that director guy who she also made out with on screen, Baldoni. The main players in the cast do not follow Baldoni on Instagram, neither does Hoover, although he follows some of them. Weird, weird, weird. I'm sorry, you cannot say something is not going on here. Wow, double negative. You can't say there's not something happening. By the time the film's August 6th New York City premiere concluded, at which Baldoni took not one photo with the cast or Hoover, nor did he introduce the film with them, the online whispers turned to shouts. There is behind-the-scenes drama plaguing It Ends With Us, and we must find out what it is. Yes, we must, and we will be spilling that tarot tea. Online sleuths leapt into action. TikTokers and ex-users posted deep investigations, dissecting photos, body language, and tidbits from interviews. So far, they've turned up, well, nothing concrete. All right, well, you guys, that's why they need the tarot tea. So tell your friends, share this with people. If people want to know, where logic and investigation end, tarot tea begins. All right. You guys know we spill some juicy tea here. I'm actually not going to read any more of these bullet points. I'm going to tell you a couple of other things that I noticed that I thought were strange. So, one of the things that I thought was the most strange, I believe this was an interview, but I mean, if you just Google, go search YouTube or whatever, look up just what's going on about the situation between Justin and Blake, there will be a million videos about this. I mean, it is really like kind of the main hot goss right now. So, as I was saying, the one thing I thought was the strangest was that when Justin was asked about if he was going to also like bring this back, I think there might be a prequel or something. I am not a Danielle Hoover reader, so I'm sorry, I don't really know about like the prequels, the sequels, or like the lore of this story. Even according to this interview, she basically said, "There's also It Starts With Us, Justin. Are you like something like are you going to do that as well?" And he said something like, I actually think Blake is ready to direct. Now, normally that's like a very kind thing to say, right? But when you also look at how strange it is that he's following Blake Lively on Instagram, she's not following him back. They're not following each other. They're not taking any photos together. All the not, not doing any interviews together. It is so strange. And to me, that seems like that, he might be trying to tell us something. And people did speculate that creative differences were at play. Also, apparently, Blake Lively commissioned an additional cut of the film. Some people say this is standard in Hollywood to do. I don't know. I mean, I've worked in television and in production for a while, and I think the director is, supposed to be in charge of the direction of the shoot. And yeah, I mean, when other people are making cuts of the film, there is definitely some stepping on each other's toes. And creative differences are a thing. This happens. It's very common. It's just two people have a separate vision. People aren't trying to hurt each other. It's just, you want to bring that vision to light. And there's a difference in opinion here. So I know it can get dicey, but I do wanna see what's going on because there's one thing to have a creative difference, and there's another thing to, unfollow each other, refuse to do press together, not do any photo ops. The other thing that was strange was that Blake Lively let it slip in an interview that Ryan Reynolds actually wrote some sort of scene that was, like, I guess, an important scene in the film. That's strange because he's not working on the project, and then she tried to, kinda say, "Oh, well, but we always work together on things." That's fine, but there's a lot going on here. So let's look at their birth charts first, then let's pull some tarot tea. I promise we're not gonna go as deep as we did into the other things because I do feel like the birth charts are just, like, gonna tell us a little bit of, like, what could be going on, but the tarot tea is what's gonna help us fill in the blanks here because there is some sort of story that we do not know about. So first, let's look at Justin Baldoni's birth chart since he's sort of the odd man out. We did see Blake Lively Blake Lively doing press with other members of the cast. We did see what looked like her having a good relationship with Colleen Hoover. So let's look at Justin Baldoni. And if you guys remember, Justin was in that show, Jane the Virgin. I used to love that show. Oh my God, loved it. And he does like his own thing now. He has his own production company. And, he also talks about toxic masculinity and spirituality. And he seems like a really nice person. Although sometimes when people try to look really nice, sometimes they're actually not. So I don't know. I'm very interested to look at his birth chart. So let's see. We don't have his birth time. I'm so mad. But here's what we know. So Justin Baldoni, Sun in Aquarius. Okay. That actually makes me think that the philosophical stuff is actually true. That he's not just someone who's pretending because Aquarians really do want equality. Okay. All right. I feel better. So Justin Baldoni, born in Los Angeles, California, January 24th, 1984. What I noticed about this, we like to look at the birth date first, is that he is a 6 energy Aquarius because when we're looking at someone's just like general energy, if you use numerology, you can just add, the 2 and the 4 because he was born on the 24th, you get 6 and you can kind of see the core number of the personality is this 6 energy of being very responsible. 6 people can sometimes clash because not only are they very responsible, but they feel like they have to be responsible. This can be a number associated with a little bit of a control freak vibe, but it can also be very nurturing. So, it's just like, how do we channel the energies? Okay, interesting right off the bat. All right, now let's look at his birth chart. From what we can tell, even though we don't have his birth time, so annoyed, is that he has his sun in Aquarius, his moon in Libra. Okay, this is giving like very good at handling problems with other people, able to talk things out. Like, I'm so confused. Mercury in Capricorn. Uh-oh. Venus in Sagittarius, Mars in Scorpio. Okay, I think we found our smoking gun, my friends. All right, so Saturn and Scorpio. Ooh, he has his Saturn and his Mars together, both in Scorpio. Ooh, this person really wants what they want. This is an immovable, fixed person. Oh, okay. Here's the issue, guys. So, this is alleged for entertainment purposes only. Here's the problem. If someone has their sun in Aquarius, their moon in Libra, I totally see why Blake Lively would sign on to this project. I totally see why Colleen Hoover would feel comfortable signing the rights over. Aquarian energy, Sun in Aquarius. This is someone who is here to help with, spreading this message of equality and positivity. And I do think, he was the one promoting this film from the space of helping survivors of domestic violence and also hopefully preventing other people from getting into this situation. He said a lot of lovely things about hoping that he can give people the motivation, the hope, the understanding that's going to help them in their lives through this art, through this movie. I think that's beautiful. That's very Aquarius sentiment, right? Wanting to help others, the sign of the humanitarian, brotherhood, sisterhood. This makes me think, yes, all the stuff that he does against toxic masculinity, that is genuine. And that is part of what he's here to do, with that being his sun sign. And then you look at Libra moon, this is all about equality. This is about being judicial. So this is someone who I think really does come to others with kind of like this heart of gold energy where, you can't help but want to work with them because he's like, this is my vision, Aquarius energy. We're going to help people. And then Libra moon. I want to partner with you. I want to work with you. Someone who's very open to what other people want, wanting to keep things balanced. Libras are great at partnership, great at give and take. And with that being his moon sign, that's really what he wants the most, whether it's his romantic partnerships or partnership he's married or his business partnerships. So I think in the beginning, it was probably very positive. So I will say it makes sense why this all came together in the first place because it's a really big deal. I believe this is his first major film he's directed, and to get Blake Lively as your co-star, that's huge. And Colleen Hoover books, I mean, you guys know they've blown up. So this was a huge project. So I think that here's where the issue started. Okay, if we look at his Mercury in Capricorn and his Mars in Scorpio, the way that he thinks and what motivates him, his passion, Mars energy, the way he goes about things, this is giving all business and all power. So I feel like probably not being, and this is again alleged for entertainment purposes, not being controlling when it's something that he's passionate about, when his Mars energy, Mars in Scorpio is activated. I think that that's when he becomes control freakish. So I think beginning stages, amazing. Creativity, amazing. You're getting that Aquarius side, you're getting that Libra side. And then when we get to, and again, this is all we can sort of tell without having his birth time, but then when we get to the way that he thinks, with that Mercury and Capricorn, this is someone who is very they're playing chess, and he really wants to make it perfect. Earth sign energy. He wants this to be something that is very successful. And Capricorns have a hard time sharing responsibility. Also, with that sixth energy that he has being born on the 24th, I could see how easily he could start to take over. And I do think that that's why he made a point in that interview to say that Blake Lively is ready for directing, because I think that maybe he pissed her off and feels like he needs to say that because maybe he was like, mm-mm, mine. I don't want your input. Like when things got serious, it's like, I don't want your input actually. Yes, Aquarius energy, we're part of the vision. Yes, Libra energy, we're partners, but like this is actually mine and I don't want your input anymore. I could see that happening when the stakes get higher or there start to be disagreements. And I think it's sad because it goes against what he wants, his Libra moon. It goes against what he truly wants to achieve. Um, and it looks like his North Node is in Gemini. And again, some of this is a guess because, but like a good and informed guess because we have his birthday. But with North Node in Gemini at 13 degrees, it looks like, I'm sure he probably is a North Node in Gemini. He is here to speak, to communicate. So I think that he needs to make sure on these projects, and we haven't pulled the cards yet. So maybe when I pull the card, it's going to be totally different. Maybe it was Blake. But I just get this weird feeling that he's the one that was kind of like doing something that made everybody else mad. And he has to be really careful because he's meant to communicate. But in order to do that, he has to be able to partner with others. He has to be able to express his moon sign in Libra. Okay, so with the Venus in Sagittarius there, this is also very philosophical. So he loves a philosophy. Sagittarius is the traveler, the philosopher, also kind of independent. So people with Venus and Sagittarius, it's a little bit chaotic. I feel like he might be at odds with himself a lot of the time. And I mean, that makes sense looking at his chart. Also, Jupiter in Capricorn, whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. So, Jupiter and Mercury both being in Capricorn, this is a lot of Capricorn energy that he gives out. And again, Capricorn is like the father archetype. It's also the boss, the taskmaster, someone that can be kind of, has to remind themselves not to push others too hard, not to be such a perfectionist. I gotta say, this is a difficult chart. Okay. Just looking at this would be a difficult person to work with. If I looked at this and someone was like, "Hey, do you wanna work with this person?" I would say, "I'm gonna pass," only because they would really have to be super mature and very, like, spiritually advanced and have overcome a lot of things to really be able to express that Libra moon. Um, yeah, also, I have my I have my, Mars in, what is it? Mars and Capricorn, so it would be a clash. But basically, yeah, when you have Mars and Capricorn, Scorpio, wherever those two planets or those two signs are, it's a power struggle. It's a power struggle energy. And Saturn right there with Mars. Oh, that is tough. I mean, that is really tough. I'm very interested to see what these cards are because this gives controlling energy to me. This gives could be kind of a bully, someone that bullies their way into what they want. When they don't get their way, they start changing things up, start going back to the contract, catching more, thinking that they're going to catch more flies with vinegar than honey. I mean, I could see that Libra moon turning off real fast, really fast. And yeah, this is tough. This is really tough. Okay, so that's interesting. I feel like we have a little bit of a grasp of his personality, maybe the darker side of his personality. Again, this is someone who's very well intentioned, but probably should work alone, probably should spearhead his own projects. I feel like if he would have cast someone in this role that was a little bit less of an A-list name, then it would have probably been more successful for him because with Mercury in Capricorn, Mars in Scorpio, he really does need to be and Saturn in Scorpio. Oh my God, Jupiter in Capricorn. Yeah, he really needs to be the boss, the one in control. And I think that he was hoping that Blake, he was just thinking about the star power, the partnership, and how great that would be. And I think he didn't realize that part of his journey and his motivation is being able to be the one that calls the shots. So let's check out Blake's chart now. Very interesting. Okay. And again, this is just speculation. I'm just looking at, more of the negative vibrations that I was sort of picking up from the gossip and from the interviews. If you have any of these placements, it does, you can choose how you interact with this energy. I always want to give a disclaimer because I never want someone to listen and be like, oh my God, well, I have my Mars in Capricorn or I have my Mars in Scorpio. Am I a controlling? No, no, because because Mars and Scorpio can actually be very empowered. And it's just basically, we have to make sure that we're mindful that we operate from the highest vibration and, speak assertively and kindly and all this, stuff that you get from your psychologist. We have to make sure that we do that with any of our birth chart placements. I'm just looking at where the pitfalls could be because that's kind of what seems to be happening. He seems like he was the odd man out here. Okay, Blake Lively. I love this because we actually do have her birth time. And it is excellent. It says like the quality of the birth time, excellent. So I'm excited. I'm obsessed. Let's get into it and love her. Didn't she look so beautiful? Just, well, honestly, at all of the press events, but I really loved that she wore that Britney Spears Versace dress. Fun fact, she has her Venus in Virgo, which is associated with like the maiden and with nature. She looks amazing when she does florals. Oh my God. And that dress that she wore as like an homage to Britney Spears, obsessed. That was so good. Please always dress like that, okay? Like, if you're watching, always dress like that. Okay, so let's look at her birth chart. She has a Virgo stellium, and when I say Virgo stellium, I mean she's got a lot of planets in Virgo. So she has her sun in Virgo, her moon in Virgo, her Mercury in Virgo, her Venus in Virgo, her Mars in Virgo. Are we okay, honey? Like, I'm just kidding. I love this. I really do love Virgo energy. I'm biased, of course, as a Virgo sun, but what I know about Virgo, because I've done quite a bit of research being a Virgo myself, is that Virgos can be very like detail oriented and perfectionistic, which you definitely want a Virgo on your project if you're trying to make it perfect, if you want things to go to the next level, like with Justin Baldoni, I'm sure he was drawn to work with her because she has a reputation for being meticulous and being good at what she does. On the other hand, Virgos can be kind of sensitive and at the same time headstrong in that if they know something's right, like I said, it's most important for them to do something right and to do something thoroughly, and they will stick with their guns. That can be difficult for other people. And with Justin's chart, with all that Scorpio, with all that Capricorn, he does have a lot of earth sign energy, which connects really well with Blake's Virgo energy. But unfortunately, what can happen is people can sometimes try to overtake the Virgo. It's like that saying, don't confuse my kindness with weakness. That must have been invented by a Virgo. And please, if you're a Virgo and you're watching this on YouTube, please write down below, have you experienced this? Or if you know a Virgo, like tell me, have you guys experienced this in your life? Because I certainly have. And what I've noticed is that people are very surprised when a Virgo finally stands up for themselves because it's that don't mistake kindness for weakness thing. And I could see it potentially playing out where Justin started to want to take things over because he wants to be successful and has a lot of planets that give this energy of I know best, right or wrong, whether he does or not. It's a very pushy energy, which, oh, side note, it's interesting to me that he makes all of the content around toxic masculinity and power and control. I think that those are some themes that he's working through in his own personal life. And that makes sense because we tend to talk about what it is we're here to learn. We kind of teach others what we're also learning in my opinion. So, and based on his birth chart, that makes sense. Like he's definitely working through those themes himself. And I think that's why it's important to him. But it can be hard to actually live your philosophies, right? And with his Venus in Sagittarius, he certainly wants to. And with his moon in Libra, he certainly wants to. And I'm sure if there was a falling out, he's probably feels very badly about it. But at the end of the day, what I could see happening is, her having a situation where she is pushing back on something that she thinks or feels is important. She has her Saturn in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, again, the philosopher. So that means that her Saturn and his Venus are together. And that is a big lesson, a big lesson type of connection in astrology. When dang. So what he wants, what he sees as beautiful, his Sagittarius energy, that comes into contact with her Saturn in Sagittarius. And it's like, it does not work. It doesn't work. When things are working, I could see her Saturn, like her working hard for what he wants to bring to life with his Venus. But at the same time, Saturn and Venus, they just don't really naturally flow. So I could see it sometimes working, but it's like, I want you to be strong, but not when it's against me. Like stand up for yourself, but not when you're talking to me. Like that's what it sort of feels like. Ugh, I don't like it. Okay. Um, so the other thing, she has a Leo ascendant, so she is here to shine. With him, he has, that we don't know his rising sign, but we do know that he has his sun in Aquarius. And Leo and Aquarius, they are natural partners. They are opposite but equal, sister signs. So I could see why they would be drawn to each other again. I could see why he would think she's the perfect star with Leo ascendant for his project. However, yeah, I also, oh my gosh, she has her Uranus in Sagittarius, so I think he shocked her and surprised her. I don't think that she saw a lot of things coming, which makes it more difficult for a Virgo being an earth sign. Virgos do not like to be surprised. They like things to be, this kind of regimented thing. They like to talk things out. They like to know where things are headed. And to me, I just feel like he was a little less grounded than she is. And I think that he expected her to go along with his plans. And I think they clashed. I think they had a clash of the ideas with that Sagittarius, Saturn, and Venus there. Um, yeah, I think they had a clash of ideas. And I think that she stuck to her ground because that's what a Virgo does. A Virgo will stick by what they want. Earth sign energy, but difficult. Also, Virgos are associated with the maiden in astrology, the goddess, delicate, healing, perfect for this type of messaging about domestic violence. Unfortunately, Virgos can sometimes do this thing where they will let other people mistreat them. And Virgos have to remind themselves of their own value, their own worth. Virgos have a great, very easy time seeing the worth of other people and wanting to prop other people up, and they have to remember that they are also worthy of that love and of being propped up. So this could have also been sort of a spiritual lesson in Blake, learning to stand up more for herself in career, and Justin learning that he has to know his place and can't have this control energy. Now, I'm not saying it was as bad as the actual story, because from what I understand, Justin Baldoni's character, you know, a trigger warning, domestically abuses Blake's character. But I feel like some themes of control and power struggle did play out. And we're going to see what the tarot has to say now. I know this is a little bit depressing and dark. Let's lighten it up now. Let's lighten it up. Ooh, let it roll off. And now let's get down to a little bit of hot goss. Spilling that tarot tea. By the way, it's like the last day of the Olympics tomorrow, so I'm wearing my like Team USA, but also with my NASA thing. Anyway, side note. Okay, let's see what's going on. Also, Venus is in Virgo right now. Another reason why Blake is just dressing for her Venus sign. She's looking beautiful. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with all of her outfits. She's just been glowing and shining and looking so happy. Oh man, Justin Baldoni, was this a soul lesson? Let's see. All right. So why don't we do past, present, future for these two and just see what comes through? So in the past, and this film, I believe, started pre-production 5 years ago. So let's start with like a little bit further in the past than we typically go. What was the energy like between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni when they first decided to work together on this project? First, let's pull a card for Justin's energy, then we'll pull a card for Blake's energy. When they first started this project years ago, what was Justin's energy about working with Blake? 10 of Wands, a burden, but a burden worth having. Okay, I think he looked at working with her as, and this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. I think he looked at her as someone who is difficult to obtain, difficult to get her to work on the project. This to me is, this person's carrying all these wands on their back. Now, wands are passion, excitement, creativity, but 10 of them at a time on your back, it's heavy. 10's also a wish fulfillment energy. So I think it was like, wow, I can't believe we actually got her. Now we have to keep her happy. Now this is an even bigger deal than I thought. It was like the pressure was on. And I think it really activated. Once that happened, I think it activated his Capricorn energy. It's like he got out of his heart and into his head and into his maybe anxiety and maybe wanting to over perfect things, a little OCD about certain things. I don't know. Again, my speculation. Okay, what was Blake's energy when she first signed on to work with Justin Baldoni on this project? What was Blake's energy? 3 of Cups. Oh my god, she was so excited. Like, I think and okay, and there's 3 here, so I'm gonna say the other one is Colleen Hoover because she's a huge catalyst, and I have not read her books, but I have heard, oh my gosh, I have heard about how many people love Colleen Hoover's books. I mean, it really kinda took over, right? This, like, complete, like, Colleen Hoover mania, and so I think that girlhood energy, she was just so excited to work on what she looked at as something iconic, epic, and again, with that all that Virgo energy, she is a healer, and I think she loved the idea of the message potentially healing and inspiring other women and helping to, heal that wound in people. So she was so excited. Celebration, cheering, having a cocktail, just really like a dream come true. 3 of Cups. And Colleen Hoover, same thing. I think that the 3 of them, when things started, it was just so positive. I love that. That's how it should start. Sad that it doesn't always continue. Okay, so that was the past. What about in the present? Oh my God. Okay. Here we go, guys. Buckle up. So what about in the present moment? What's going on with their energy right now? In the present moment, what's going on with their energy right now? First, let's pull a card for how Justin Baldoni feels about Blake. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Guys, I'm telling you, it was a power struggle. How ironic, too, with the subject matter. Um, Dang. So 8 of Pentacles, gosh, 8 of Pentacles, this is like allegedly for entertainment purposes. This is working very hard on something. 8 is associated with power in numerology, and 8 is about being empowered. It's about who has the control. Now, in the upright, this 8 of Pentacles is about hard work and achieving something and creating this beautiful cake. And Pentacles, of course, abundance and money. In reverse, this is things going awry. So Justin Baldoni feels disempowered right now. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. He does not feel like he is in that 8 energy. He feels like at one point, it was like all of this just kind of turned into him feeling like he has lost control of the situation. Like what he has worked so hard on is not going to come to fruition the way that he had hoped. So I think he sees this very clearly. Oh my God, I just got goosebumps. So confirmation. Wow. Total goosebumps, guys. Okay, what about for Blake Lively? How does she feel about Justin Baldoni at this moment? By the way, I do think he blames her because I pulled that card for how he feels about her and how he feels right. Yeah, he blames her. He thinks that she took away his power. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes. Okay, how does Blake Lively feel towards Justin Baldoni right now? How does Blake Lively feel towards Justin Baldoni? Five of Swords. You guys, you cannot make this stuff up. The tarot T is talking. Five of Swords. This is like he is a liar, cheat, shady. He tried to do things behind her back. He tried to cut her out of decisions that she felt she had a right to be in the room for. Oh my gosh, you guys. Holy smokes. I mean, could this be any freaking, oh my God. I'm dropping stuff. I'm like, I'm beside myself. Could this be any clearer? This is the conflict. He feels like she tried to take over. She took the control from him. He started making it about him, in my opinion. It started off as this grand idea, and then he started making it about himself. And in reality, I think he was trying to take the power from her. So he's like projecting. And she saw that he was in Five of Swords energy. And then he actually did end up losing the power. Okay, this is wild. So let's see if we can get more to the story. What caused this Five of Swords, Eight of Pentacles in reverse misunderstanding, actual issue between them? Let's just pull some cards to tell the story. What happened? What happened here? What happened here? This is really wild. Makes so much sense though. What happened? The tarot T is dead on. Okay, Knight of Cups. I'm going to pull a couple, then I'm going to interpret them. Knight of Cups. This is my romantic card. This is my Knight in Shining Armor card. Let's pull a couple more. Okay, so there's a Knight of Cups here. What else happened? A Judgment. Three of Wands. Knight of Wands. Okay, here's my question. I'm feeling like this Knight of Cups was Ryan Reynolds. So she said she's the one that actually confessed or said, I don't know, she kind of said it in confidence, which is a little bit interesting, or like kind of low, like when no one was around, and said like now like you're the only one that knows that or something. There was some like little element of playful but kind of like secrecy vibes around the fact that he wrote one of the scenes. So I'm gonna say this Knight of Cups is Ryan Reynolds. Also, this, it's like a man with light hair, her significant other. But why did he get involved? Because I would think that she would not involve him unless she needed some backup. It was like, hey, I'm having issues. I need you to help me here. Why? Why did he get involved? What happened? Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. Four of Swords. Healing. The Moon. Confusion. Hidden emotions. Seven of Swords. Deceit. Thief in the night. Okay, I think that there were things that Justin started to do around the healing themes of the film that were very important to Blake. Again, as that major stellium Virgo, for Virgos, it really is all about healing and helping others and like putting out a positive message. I think she was very committed to that. And I think there were things that Justin may have been writing into the movie that she didn't agree with. Not quite sure what it is, but it's about this healing element, Four of Swords, the foundation of the message. So, and then she was confused. The Moon, I think he may have tried to hide this from her, or maybe Justin thought that he could get away with changing little things and she wouldn't notice, or maybe saying, like, oh, let's just do it this way, when in reality, he was going to do that. Like, he was going to use that cut the whole time, or like, but there was something about his energy that she felt was deceptive and trying to hide something from her. And it has to do with the theme of the film, with something that she thought was very important, and she's also a producer on the film. Yeah, major clash, and she feels like he didn't go about it the right way. He wasn't upfront, so she called in her husband, her Knight of Cups, and she said like, "Hey, can you help me out?" Judgment card. I think that there was a major conversation that happened about this direction of the film, about keeping the integrity of the film. in the eyes of Blake and I think Colleen Hoover. And then 3 of Wands and Knight of Wands looking to the future. When they were talking about the future of the film, this Knight of Wands energy is showing up. That's Justin Baldoni, I'm gonna say, because he has that Mars in Scorpio, Mercury in Capricorn, very much about, wanting to move forward quickly and with gusto. And our Knight cards they're like adolescent energy. It's like not super mature. This kind of stuck out. Page of Wands. Oh my God, I was just saying not super mature. Page of Wands is the immaturity card. Oh my God, guys, that's so weird. Okay. Okay, what else here? So then what happened? So Ryan stepped in. Eight of Wands, things again, eights about power. Things felt out of control for this Knight of Wands, for this Knight of Wands and this Page of Wands. So Justin Baldoni started to feel like things were up in the air and out of his control. And Scorpio and Capricorn energy can both be very manipulative. So I'm not surprised that we have this 5 of Swords and this 7 of Swords. Just saying. And also a Virgo can see through that. Lord. Oh Lord. When you got to call your husband in for backup, you're really hitting a brick wall here. She's very talented producer, and I think she's very confident in her abilities. I think it was just like they were at a standstill. Okay, what else? Yeah, the Chariot in reverse, Mars energy in reverse. I think that there was a disagreement that maybe got a little bit, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, maybe got a little bit uglier than anyone expected. Maybe there was yelling. We're getting a lot of passion here. The Chariot in reverse, this is like misused passion, misused energy. And because this is associated with immaturity, things up in the air, I want to say maybe Justin pitched kind of a little bit of a fit, or there was a tantrum. And I think people lost respect. And maybe it got to the point where he yelled or did something that was so offensive that maybe people were able to say, hey, you're going to step back now from this and we're going to take it from here. Like because he was definitely like in the back seat in all these interviews and everything, like even saying, I think Blake's ready to direct. Like, I feel like that was kind of him trying to save his butt. He definitely misused his energy. Okay. What else? What else about what happened? 10 of Cups. I think Blake and Ryan, kind of the darlings of Hollywood. Um, I think that their behavior and the way that they handled things was much more mature. And I think that Ryan Reynolds stepped in and had probably a bigger role than, anyone's going to admit on this press tour. I think that Blake and Ryan kind of took it over, like, in a sense where allegedly for entertainment purposes only, they were like, "Okay, this is too much for Justin to handle." Clearly, he's had this, like, outburst or whatever. It was not professional. It was over the top to the point where I think he even realized, "Ooh, I went too far. I guess I will step back." And kind of give them the reins. 10 of Cups. We have Blake and Ryan taking over, and maybe they're going to use this energy. Oh my God, bottom of the deck, the Sun card, happiness. I think once that happened, they ended up having a really fun time with the project. And I would not be surprised if in the future they actually co produce more movies together. Do they have a production company yet, like as a husband and wife team? If they don't, I think they'll establish one. If they do, I think they're going to start producing their own films. And they may even work with Colleen Hoover to produce more films because they really loved this experience. I think what ended up happening was, yeah, Justin, maybe he got in a little bit out of his depth. And with that Mars and Mercury in kind of control oriented signs, if you're not extremely mature, if you don't go back to your moon sign energy, if you don't go into your heart center, which is that Libra energy, if he got a little too power hungry or got into his ego too much, and didn't rely on his Libra moon, which is being in your feels, I could see how things would go south really quickly. And I think that's what happened. I think things went south. I think it got ugly. And I think that they basically took the project. And I think it was with the judgment card there, I think it was like, not threats, but I think legal, like there may have been legal threats or something, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, used to help move things along. Like, okay, well, we're going to get out of this project and then you're going to have like all this debt and it's going to be on you and your production company to fix it if you don't start playing ball with us. Like, I think it had to get ugly. And I think that's why they are not. Okay. Anything else? Anything else about this whole situation? Or let's see, Colleen Hoover. How did Colleen Hoover feel? Like, why is she not following Justin anymore? Was she there for this? For this breakdown? The Emperor reverse. Ooh, she sees him as the Emperor in reverse. Dang. What did he do? So the Emperor, this is someone who is powerful and, someone that you can follow and a leader and very positive and has their stuff together in life. And she now sees him as the Emperor reversed, someone that she cannot rely on. She doesn't trust him. Yeah, she is not a fan of his anymore either. Oh my God. Wow, it really got to him. The pressure of this project really got to him. And that's not an excuse. I'm just saying surprising. Okay. Anything else about Blake Lively and how she feels about all of this? Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. King of Cups. She's really grateful that Ryan stepped in to help her. And I think that she realized even more just how great of a husband she has, what a great support he is, and how I think she was probably very grateful that he's in the same industry because this is a project that's important to her. And I think that, yeah, she was like King of Cups. We got Justin Baldoni as the Emperor Reverse, and we have Ryan as the King of Cups. I think he really supported her through this difficult situation of this project really falling apart. Um, Interesting. Anything else? Page of Cups, an emotional new beginning. I think that this brought them even closer together. And again, if they come out next week and announce their new production company, I will say I told you so because this is what this looks like. This is a new beginning for them. I think that they actually worked really well together in this capacity. And I think they're going to do more projects together as a team. And I kind of love to see it. So that's a tarot tea on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, this is crazy. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching to In the Cards and Stars. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Or if you want to join us over on YouTube, be sure that you follow me over at Brit Madrid on the YouTube channel. And then we have In the Cards and Stars Instagram. I'm going to start posting on there now. And you can follow me on Threads at Brit Madrid. I got all the social medias and I'd love to connect in more places than just here. Also, I've had people ask about the memberships. If you guys want to join the membership on YouTube, there's a join button. I know it's a little bit weird, but there's a join button next to the subscribe button. Press that join button and that will get you in the little club. I think it's like $2.99 a month. And you get extra videos, you get all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, it's a good time over there. And it's a smaller group, so you can ask more questions about your birth chart and things like that. All right, I love you guys, and I will see you in another episode very soon.